Hi guys, it's Brittany at Ink and Papyrus, and today we're going to be creating our Christmas snow globe journal. I've been waiting all year to do this, so let's get started. So let me just walk you through the flow of the project. So I have already created the actual structure of the journal just using chipboard and some heavy duty tape. Everything else we're going to be doing from start to finish. Okay. Aside from what you're going to want to decorate the journal, you are going to want something circular. Here is an old plastic container that we are going to be using to create our snow globe. A couple of things you're looking for: make sure it's not too big. You don't want to take up the entire cover just with the snow globe, unless that's the look that you're going for. The other thing, you want to make sure that whatever container or lid you're using has minimal writing on it. There are two engraved symbols and writings on here that I plan to cover up with some snowflakes. If there are only a couple things on it and you think you can easily cover it up, by all means go ahead. You don't want a lid or container that has writing all over it. And you also want to make sure that it's pretty see-through. Some of the lids and containers you'll find are really opaque. You don't want that. You want to be able to easily see inside your snow globe. You'll need some confetti and glitter and things to put in the snow globe. And then in addition, you'll want your background. Okay, so pick whatever piece of paper you want to use as your background, and you are simply going to lay your container down, or your lid down. You are just going to trace right around the container, okay, all the way around, and then you're going to cut it out. And then you have the perfect size circle for your snow globe. Okay, so you may be wondering, how did I get this nice circular image? You can print an image out however you would like, trace a circle around, and cut it out like that. If you're losing too much of the image, you probably need to reformat the image and its size. I have a nice app that allows me to change the size of the image and basically make it any shape I want. If you need to change the size of your image in the print settings, just select, you'll see when you go to print it, you can change it to like wallet size or 5x7 or whatever. Just print it like that so that you can downsize the image before you print. Okay, that's that. Now let's make the base of our snow globe. Okay, here is an example. It's just a very simple drawing. Okay, so what you want to do, put your circle down, okay, just to decide about how big of a base you're going to need. If you want a really small base, start about there. If you want a larger base, start a little bit higher up. Okay, so you can make the base as fancy as you want. I'm just gonna simply make a small little divot for my snow globe to sit into. I'm not worried about making it too fancy. I actually already decided that I'm gonna use this red paper and then get some gold words that say, or gold letters that spell out believe, since I'm using a Polar Express theme here. I don't think I'm gonna make the whole journal Polar Express themed. Just the snow globe image on the front. Okay. Okay. Now we're just going to cut this out. see how we did. So base. Okay, clearly you can see the side's a little bit higher than this side. So all I'm gonna do is just trim a little bit off the edge there. Okay, that looks a lot more even. Okay, and we can decorate it up later. Okay, next thing you'll need is a piece of fabric. I have measured this out. I'm just gonna go along here to reinforce my spine. Okay. And then of course you'll need an extra piece of cardstock, or sorry, chipboard that fits inside the spine here that you will attach your signatures to. I'm gonna set these aside. I want to decorate the cover first before we put the fabric on. Okay, you may have noticed in my last video I broke out the paints. I got up the courage, and that's because I specifically wanted to try out a couple of things before I painted the cover of this journal. I'm gonna go for a blue, like a sky, snowy scene. I think that fits really well with the theme of the inside of the snow globe. Feel free to decorate the cover however you would like. I'm going to be using paint for mine. Okay, if you're going to be doing a snowy scene like me, you'll obviously want a lot of blue. We're going to be doing kind of like an ombre look. You're going to want several different shades of blue. If you don't have several shades of blue, that is a-okay. You are just going to be adding various amounts of white and maybe gray and black to your palette to create several different shades of blue. I guess this one is not opened. I have a silvery one. Is this one open? Nope. Best use for a staple remover. Open these darn paint jars. Okay. Let's get a little cobalt blue. And we have some sky blue. Okay, you'll definitely want some black. You'll definitely want some gold. Okay, and we can add some other colors later depending on how else we want to decorate the cover once we're done with the sky scene. So let's lay our journal out just like this. Make sure you know which is top, which is bottom. I guess it really doesn't matter so much at this stage. Make sure you know what the inside of your spine is. I'm not going to paint the inside of the journal. I chose 2 pieces of paper, and we'll do some more decorating inside. And we'll do that when we're done painting. So we're just gonna lay our journal out. And we're gonna get to painting. Don't worry if you make a mistake, you can always paint over it. If you run out of space on your palette, just grab an extra piece of cardboard or an old box, like in my case. You're going to want several different sizes of brushes. And let's just get to painting. Okay, so the key here is just taking several different colors, different brushes, and just adding texture and layers as you go. Okay, giving or adding layers and different textures is just going to give it depth. Okay, it's going to make your sky look really, really nice. So I'm going to start with the darkest blue I have, and actually I'm just going to add a little black to it. Okay, this is going to be the top of the sky. We want it to be really dark because the stars are going to show up really nice. Okay. Now don't worry about like this piece where the tape hangs over. That's fine. The paint's not going to stick. It doesn't matter. That's where your fabric is going to come in handy. It should cover all of that. Okay, at this point it may be easier to do if you're using a certain palette of colors and you want the same front and back. It may make sense to do the, like, say I did the first layer of the sky on this side, do the first layer of the sky on this side, just to kind of keep it symmetrical. Especially if you're intermixing colors, you make sure you still have the same colors you just used on your palette. If you're planning on doing something totally different with the front and the back, obviously it doesn't matter. I kind of wanted the same general appearance of the front and the back. Obviously the snow globe's only going to be on the front, but other than that I still wanted like a snowy scene on the back cover. Okay, as you can see with the chipboard, I'm probably going to need a couple coats. That's fine. Between this and the cloud cover, your chipboard's all going to be covered. I'm not worried about if I get paint on the inside cover. I'm going to cover both the inside with a piece of paper, so that's totally fine. Feel free to be sloppy. Okay. Alrighty, sorry, just grabbing some paper towels. Okay, next I'm going to come in with that blue I used. I'm not going to mix it with the black this time. Okay, it's fine if it commingles. It gives it that nice ombre look and kind of mixes itself without you having to mix anything. Same on the other side. Okay, let's mix a little silver in here. Hope you guys are having a good day. I've really been looking forward to doing this for a while now. I knew I wanted to make some kind of snow globe journal. I just wasn't sure how I wanted to incorporate everything that I wanted to do. But I'm really excited. I think this is going to turn out so cool. Alright, I'm going to add a little bit more. I'm going to add this blue, but it's too light for where we're at in the skyline. So I'm just going to add a touch of black to it. Still kind of giving us that gray look. And if the sky looks too delineated in layers, like there's clearly one color here, one color here, one color there, you just want to go, as you lighten it, as you progressively get to lighter colors, just kind of go back over those lines to smooth them out. So it's clearly like a good, nice blended sky. And then just continue on down. Okay, we're gonna go back after we're done with the sky. We're gonna go back in with some cloud cover too, and that's gonna help blend the layers. Okay, so as you can see, there's some cardboard or chipboard sticking through the top. We're gonna go back over that. Gonna get ourselves some blue and some black, mix those in, and go back over it again. Definitely don't want chipboard sticking out. Okay. Gonna come back in with our silver. I already really liking the way this looks. Don't be afraid of it, just layer. You can't go wrong with the layers. You can always add more black or gray to darken it up, more white to lighten it up. It's totally fine. And feel free to cross-contaminate. I think it looks better when, like I said, you don't have distinguished layers. I think Starry Night meets Christmas. That is getting too light for where we're at in the sky. So we're just going to darken it and add a little bit more of that dark blue that we started with. Still too light. Just going to come back in with a little bit of black. Okay, now we have our starry sky. Let's go ahead and get working on some cloud cover. This is the brush I'm going to use. Alright, we're going to be using white and silver for this. Alright, so come on in here. You want to vary your clouds. You want some of them to be thin, some of them to be thick. Get some wispy clouds in there. Whatever you want. Okay, don't be afraid to add a little silver. Alright, perfect. I really like those. Alright, let's add a little cloud cover to the other side. Some low-lying clouds. To add a little silver. Give it some shimmer. Okay, nice. I'm really liking that. Alright. Now, if this is dry enough, we're gonna add, which I think it is, we're gonna add some stars. So we want our stars to be different sizes. I'm gonna use a really thin tipped brush. The other thing I really like are these manicure, like fine point metal tips for stars. Okay. So I think I'm going to use these to make the smaller stars and the fine tip brush to draw the larger stars. Okay, and you can put these wherever you want. Get a good dab on. I'm going to be using gold. Okay. Now we're going to draw our thicker stars. So go back in the gold, and I'm going to make this really simple. Just a line across. You can go back over it if you need. Okay. Same on this side. Make them different sizes. The more pressure you apply, the thicker the star is going to be, the larger. And just a little dab, barely touch the cardboard for the smaller, or chipboard, sorry, for the smaller stars. Alright, so I'm pretty happy with that sky. I think I'm gonna let this dry and we'll be back to do up the cover a little bit more. Okay guys, our cover is dry and we are ready to begin sprucing it up. Keep in mind how large your snow globe is going to be. Obviously anything in that vicinity is going to get covered up. So we're going to add a little bit of details in the periphery to really give this a nice snowy scene effect. Okay, so first I would really like to add a few trees. I think the little details is what's going to make this cover so adorable. Okay, so I have this forest green here. This is a lighter green than I want though. So I'm gonna come in with the black. We're just gonna mix this a little bit. Yes, I'm cross-contaminating. I'm sorry. Life goes on. It will be okay. Okay, I'm a little bit happier with that green. All right. So, remember our fabric is, or whatever you're using to reinforce the spine is gonna probably come out to about here. So we really don't have a whole lot of room to add additional things, but let's try and add a tree or two. Remember, naturally the branches will just, every layer they will extend out a little bit further. And I think as long as you kind of make it symmetrical, relatively speaking, it will look okay. We're gonna go over this a couple of different times, add a couple of different layers, and it should blossom out nicely. Okay, it's not rocket science. And we'll even add a little bit of snow on the tree. Okay, I'm gonna come back in with the black and we're just gonna add some darker branches and just give it a little bit more dimension. Okay. We can add another little tree in the background to give it some depth. I want this one to be a little bit smaller. Okay, and I think by doing this, you're kind of making it look kind of 3D. And another little tree up here. I think part of this will probably get covered by the snow globe, but that's fine. Be nice to see a little tree peeking out. Okay. The tree is kind of looks like a blob to me. I think that's just because it's not showing up well against that darker blue. So I'm gonna come in with a black and just add a little bit more definition to it. And I think especially once this dries and we add some snow to it, you'll be able to tell. It will look a lot more like a tree. It's okay. Okay. Same here, just a little bit more definition to the trees with the black. Okay. Now, since we have our paint out, our green paint, we're gonna add some trees to the back cover as well. And well, this is my back cover, so remember, you can do more decorating on this side because obviously you're not gonna have a snow globe covering it up. Okay, just gonna make a happy little tree. I don't know if it's gonna be a happy tree or like a very sad Charlie Brown tree, but not to worry, we will find a way to spruce it up. So something to think about then, if you haven't already painted your sky and you're watching this whole video before you make your journal, I think when you get down to this area, you know this is where you're going to be painting the rest of your scene, you may want to keep this a lighter blue than I did. I think things would show up a little bit better had I made this little lighter. Like I said, we're going to work around that by adding some snow and things like that to accentuate the other objects we've painted into our scene. Okay, I like that. All right. Again, I'm gonna add another little tree. I'm running out of green paint here, so add a little more to my palette. Mix in a little black. I'm really liking the way this is looking. If your tree's looking a little sad and skinny, just go back in there, the little lighter shade of green maybe. Fill in some of those empty areas. Floof your tree out. I do like when you're able to see a little bit of the blue come through. I think it makes it look a little bit more realistic, but that's just me. Maybe I'll add one more little tree here, like a little baby tree. Remember, narrow up top. A little bit fatter the next layer, or wider. And that's what makes it look like a tree. All right. So I am liking that. I would like to add some brown, give the trees a little bit of a stump. This is raw sienna. I don't know where I got these paints. Like I said, I've been hoarding these for like years. This one isn't even open either. Just because painting like terrifies me because I have really no skill, and I decided to challenge myself and bust the paints out and learn how to do something with them. So I got these a long time ago, probably at the thrift store or a sale or something, maybe on Amazon. I like them. I do. They get the job done. Okay, that's a little lighter brown than I want. Just gonna come in here, add a little black to it. Okay, I need a little more black than that. Well, maybe not. You don't need much. If you add too much, everything you mix it with is going to end up being gray. And we still want it to be light enough that it will actually show up on our cover. Okay, so we're just gonna give these trees a little trunk. Nothing fancy about this. Same with these. Okay, and then I'm just going to add, to give it a little depth, we're just going to have the trunks rest on some ground, just using really light up and down texture to create the look of some ground. And you can either make this the same color as the trunk, maybe a little lighter, a little darker. Okay. Like it. All right. So now, why don't we, I'm trying to think if we want to maybe add a little bit. I definitely want to add some snow caps to the trees and some snow fall to the ground, but I'm just wondering what else we may want to add. We don't have a whole lot more room. If you're looking for ideas because you have a little bit more room on your cover, I think like a sign that says Christmas trees, or maybe like some carolers or something here would be really cute. Why don't we add some lights to the trees? Maybe some decorations, or even like a hot cocoa stand would be really cute. I was trying to decide whether if I wanted this to be a Christmas tree farm. Obviously you wouldn't necessarily decorate the trees, but why not? Why don't we pick one? Maybe we'll pick like one of the trees to decorate. Or I don't want the other trees to feel left out. Jeez. Okay, let me get, I think stickles would be perfect for this. The other thing that you could use to add some decorations, like some light bulbs, would be this fine tipped metal manicurist thing. But I think stickles would be good too. So I will be right back. Okay guys, so I have a serious stickles liquid pearls addiction problem. So I have a whole stash to pick from. I think I want to keep it really simple though, since we're doing like a dark starry theme. I think the silver and the gold and maybe some red would be perfect for this. So I'm just gonna start by creating little strands of lights. So let's do that. Let's start over here. And we don't want too many. Okay. Okay, let's do Let's do silver and gold on this tree here in the forefront. Okay, maybe we'll do silver and gold up here too. Maybe on this tree we'll do some gold and red. I really like that. Perfect. Why don't we? Trying to think. I think a star on each tree would look really nice. Star at the top. So I'm just gonna take one of my brushes with like an angle to it, and I'm just gonna kind of like the stars we did in the sky. So they're subtle, but feels like there's something missing. Okay. Nice. All right, same thing here. Silver and gold. Maybe we'll do 2 silver and red trees over here and 1 silver and gold. Let's do, yeah, we'll do a golden red here. adorable. Okay, let's give each of our trees a star. Nice. Okay, I am loving this already. I have such high hopes for this. I think it's gonna look so adorable, especially once we get our snow globe on. So I'm gonna let these stickles dry for a few minutes because otherwise I can tell I'm gonna be dragging my hand through them. So when we come back, we'll add the snow caps to the trees and then get to working on the snow globe portion. Alright, I am back and these stickles appeared pretty dry. So we're just going to add some finishing touches here on our paint scene. Alright, so I have some white paint here and a very fine tip brush. We're just going to add some snow to the ground, to the trees. We don't want to go overboard. We want to make it look natural. So put the snow in where it looks like it would naturally accumulate. So these little divots in the tree. Obviously it looks like snow would probably accumulate there. And give it a little, when you're putting on blobs, like actually make it a blob, because I think when you do, it gives them, you want the blobs to be small, but make it a real blob because it gives some texture and it kind of raises it off the cover and actually does make it look more like snow. I'm going to cover the ground here. I'm loving the way this looks. Oh, even a snowman or something here would be really cute. I would put it here, but obviously the snow globe would probably cover it up. I think if we put it here, the fabric overhang would probably cover it up. The only place I think it may still be visible is maybe in here. So let's finish applying the snow. and see what we have left. See where we land. But I think it's the little touches like that that is gonna make this adorable. The other thing I think that would make the snow a little bit more realistic looking is if you made like a little pile where it's been shoveled and dumped onto. So we're gonna make a little snow pile here. Different textures I think make it look more realistic. So instead of just dabbing all your snowflakes, kind of roll it. Roll your brush a little bit. Alright, let's add some snow to our tree here. Nice. Okay. All right. Just gonna blend the snow in a little bit more so it looks like it's actually laying on the ground. You don't want to cover the ground though. Like you don't want to cover up the brown dirt necessarily, but just do a little bit better job of blending. Alright, I'm pretty happy with the snow cover. Alright. let's make a snowman. Feel like there's this blank spot here. We should just do it. Okay, so I'm just thinking how big I want it to be. Obviously it's kind of a small tree. I'll make it about the same height. You guys are about to see how bad of a painter I really am. We may have to go over this a couple of times just because I think the blue is still really peeking through. That's okay. We'll just, once this gets a little bit more dry, we'll just go over it one more time. And I think that'll take care of that. So slightly smaller circle. And one more circle on top. Okay, so let's get the black, and we're gonna do our eyes, the buttons, right? Add a corn cob pipe and a button nose and 2 eyes made out of coal, just in case anyone forgot. Okay, so we'll do the pipe, and then I think we'll make his nose a carrot. There's gonna be fabric overhang though, especially with this here. We'll figure something out. Because, let's see, I don't know if you guys can see, I just realized, obviously when you tape the spine together, the tape isn't completely even. So we have some tape up here, and if you put a piece of fabric down that's going to cover that, it's going to cover half a snowman. We'll work something out. Maybe we'll just cover with fabric straight down this line here, and then add something else to the back cover here to cover up this tape. Let's think on that. We'll figure something out. I definitely don't want to cover up the snowman. Alright, so let's add our buttons. You know what? Actually, we're not done with the black because we're gonna make him a hat. A top hat. Yeah, I am loving the snowman. We are no way, no how covering him up. We will figure something out. Like I said, it's the little details that just, I think, make this cover so adorable. Okay. I found my orange. Also not open, I'm sure. Oh my gosh, it is open. I don't know what I would have used it for, but good on me. I guess this isn't the first time I've used this paint set. Okay, the other thing I wanted to mention to you guys is in between when I had the stickles drying, I still had a bunch of paint that we used from the Starry Sky that was left in the palette. I didn't want to just waste it. So what I did was cover a bunch of book pages that will alter later. I just like painted some of them. I put some paint down, splashed some water on them to give them like some different textures, and we'll alter these. We could punch things out of these. The lighter colored painted ones we could write on and use it almost as like a gesso. So we could write on top of the book page. We can make pockets out of them. We could do a ton of stuff with them. So in case you have some paint left over and you're not sure what to do with it, grab some book pages. It doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be a completed project. You don't have to decide what to do with it today. Just cover some in paint. Okay, so let's finish up our snowman. I've got a little orange paint here. And we're just gonna make his little carrot nose. Perfect. All right. Now I think we're gonna go back into the black and finish up his mouth. Perfect. He has a nice Santa smile. All right, and let's make him a scarf. You get some red. It's not open yet. Let's see. Here's another red. Okay. Oh, nice. A nice Santa scarf. Or not Santa scarf. Sorry. A snowman scarf. I think this paint is like going to my head, the fumes. Okay. Maybe we'll add a little bit more detail once that dries. But for now, I'm gonna leave that as is. So I love the snowman. That was a great choice. Great choice. Okay. I was thinking about adding some garland to our trees. I don't know if it'll be too much. I'm looking for my gold paint. Here it is. I hope I don't regret this. I think I'm just gonna go in with the gold and add a little bit of garland Sometimes you have to leave well enough alone, and I'm afraid I'm one of those people who just doesn't know when to leave something alone. That looks okay. I don't know if I want to do it to all the trees though. I think it might just be too much. So yeah, we'll just let that be on that tree. Because it's special with the snowman. Alright, let's see, what other cute little touches can we add? I don't think there's really anything we can do to the front cover, just because, like I said, I think the snow globe is going to be covering up a lot of that. This is where you really want to start thinking about where you're going to place your snow globe. Maybe that's enough. Maybe we don't need to busy this up any more than we already have. All right, well, okay. I am going to give the Mr. Snowman another layer. I feel like the blue is really coming through. And he needs an extra layer. That'll give it some texture too. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. I have some snowflake stuff and some pigment paste. I think would look really, really cute. It's very like shimmery. So let's finish the snowman and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. I think the rest is okay. Yeah, I think I'm happy with the snow cover. Okay. So I'm going to show you guys, I have this pigment powder that's made by Recollections, and it's just this really, really cool shimmery stuff. So I think the best way to apply it is with Mod Podge. So I'm just going to get a little bit of Mod Podge on my brush, and I'm going to add a little bit of it to the snow, because I think that would really make the snow pop and really give it some extra pizzazz. And actually, thinking about it, I could have just directly added it to the paint. That may have been the way to go, but that's okay. I just thought about it. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see, but it's giving it this nice shimmery, like iridescent tone. You don't want to just put this on with Mod Podge and not paint, like not put the snow paint down, because remember the Mod Podge is going to dry clear, and this stuff really, it's not completely transparent, but it's not going to give you that snow look. It's just going to it's going to look like you have shimmery areas on top of the ground. It's not gonna, it in itself isn't gonna give you that snow look that we're looking for. Don't be afraid to add an extra layer of Mod Podge on top to seal it in. It does have ways of like kind of just crumpling off. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see that. I really, really love that. I think when it dries too, you'll be able to see how much like texture and shimmer it adds. All right, so now for the front cover. It's like, it resembles packed snow, I think. Oh, I just love it. I'm not going to do too much down here. I think pretty much this entire area is going to get covered up by the snow globe. So that brings me to my next point. That really is something that you want to decide before you paint your journal. Had I thought about it a little bit more, I probably would have painted trees in the foreground and made room for the snow globe on top, or found a way to incorporate it up at the top, because in looking at my picture, you see we have Santa's sleigh up here, and I think it makes a little bit more sense to have it up higher, so it looks like he's kind of in the clouds. But then again, you would need something to set the base on, maybe like a table or a stand, and you would have had to paint that into your painting. So it's okay, but I think when all is said and done, I'm just gonna end up having this snow globe be right down here. Okay, so let's let all this dry. I'm gonna go take my extra paint, splatter on some book pages that we can use in one of our future videos. Okay, and now for the snow globe portion of the journal. That's the theme of the journal cover, right? So a couple of things that I talked to you guys about at the beginning of the process. I talked to you guys about how to alter an image so that it would sit inside the snow globe. Now let's talk about what you're going to use for the globe itself. Make sure that whatever you use, a lid, container, whatever, make sure that this edge is pretty flat and even so that it will sit flush up against the journal cover. The other thing, make sure it's not really opaque or else you're not going to be able to see inside. These little symbols and letters, they're in two different places on this lid. We're going to cover them up. If you have letters and signs engraved all over the place, I don't know, I don't think it's going to look very good. So pick the right thing for your snow globe. Okay, so make sure when you start this process you know exactly where you want this. Once you glue this down, it's not coming back up, okay? Alright, so I think right there, and you want to take your base and just verify too that you've left enough room at the bottom for the snow globe base. Make sure you're happy with it. I think I'm going to let a little bit of the snow kind of peek out at the bottom there because I like the way that looks. Like it's sitting on a snow covered ground. Okay. Move this over a little bit. Okay. There we go. Okay, I think I'm happy with it there. Yeah. Okay. So first things first, we want to glue this down with white glue, something that is really adhesive. While I'm doing this, I'm going to tell you guys the best way to glue the snow globe down is a hot glue gun. So get one warmed up. So, thin beads of glue, but make sure you cover the whole circle. I'm not gluing this down yet, but I just want to make sure I know exactly where I want my globe to sit. Okay. So once you're sure you know where you want it, go ahead and press it down. Alright, let's figure out where the base is going. Here we go. Remember, we're going to decorate the base up a little bit more later, so don't worry about that. Just put some glue on. Okay. So again, make sure you know where you're putting everything. Okay. So, next thing you want to do, if there's any decorating you want to do on the circle, do it now. I'm happy with how everything looks. I don't really want to add anything to it. Okay, so we're gonna put in all the glitter and sequins in a second. First thing I want to do is get rid of these little insignatures or symbols. So I have some snowflake embellishments here, and we're just gonna put a couple on the outside to cover up those little pesky symbols. Don't put too many of these or else you're not going to be able to see inside your snow globe. Okay, perfect. So I have it sitting down kind of where I want it. Nothing major is covered up. You can see Santa, you can see the train. I'm okay with that. We'll put one more down. I don't know. Ideally, honestly, I like the look of the snowflakes on the outside. It's a question of how much these little things bother me. They're kind of hard to see, honestly. I think that's too many. I have these other little snowflakes I could use to cover them up and kind of give it some balance. Oh, I like that better. I know it's not that serious, but I can't help it. Okay. I like that okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm good with that. So let's glue this down. Try not to get hot glue everywhere, all over your globe. Okay. Okay, I really like that. I wish I had, well, I don't want to cloud it up too much. You don't want to make it so distracting that people don't see the image inside. So let's leave that as is. Okay. So now what you want to do is fill the inside with whatever goodies you want. Okay, if you want to glue on, you know, a snowflake or two, or other pieces, great, do that now. Otherwise, we're just gonna pile everything in the middle of the snow globe before we make the final seal. Okay, so I have a couple of different things. Remember, don't go overboard or else you're not going to be able to see your image inside. Okay, I have this like glass glitter. This is really cool. Okay, keep everything in the middle. You don't want it to get all stuck in the glue. Okay, so just put it in the middle. Okay. I'm going for different kind of colors and different consistencies. I'm gonna put in a couple gold sequins. Okay. Let's get a couple white sequins. You pour it in your hand. Remember, we're aiming for the middle of the image so we stay out of the way of the glue. Okay. Actually, looking at it, I really like the look of the sequins. I almost wonder if I shouldn't have put sequins down as the ornament balls on the tree. That's okay. Maybe next time. Okay, I'm gonna put in a little blue. I guess I've never used this. That's another thing I buy and I never use. All the glitter. We gotta start using our glitter more. It's pretty fabulous. Okay, only a couple of pieces. I don't want a whole ton of this glitter. Ooh, ooh la la. I love that. Okay, and then let's put a couple of red pieces. Okay. And I also had some of this. I don't know how much more room I'm gonna have. Let's put some of this white chunky glitter down. Just a couple pieces. All right. So let's get our lid. Make sure it's, again, we know exactly where we want it. Once we put it down, we're not picking it back up. So make sure you're where you want to be. Okay, so what you want to do, get your hot glue gun and you want to make a thin rim of glue around the rim, or a thin bead of glue around the entire rim and stick it down, okay? Avoiding whatever glitter you have there. Alright, so we gotta do this quickly before it starts to dry. Make sure you get the whole thing, but try not to clump it on too much. Stick it down. Did I make it? Oh, okay. I was worried I didn't make it on the cover. Well, I was worried there was hang off. Okay. I'm just looking to make sure it has a full seal, because I feel like I had some glitter bust loose there. I don't know where it came from. By the way, that's not the smartest thing to do. Don't jostle it until your glue dries. But I had to move it because I was worried that this end did not completely make it on the cover, which it did. But in the process, some of that glitter jumped out at me. So I think I probably have an opening somewhere. That's okay, we can make a little. Once we identify where it's coming from, we can make another little seal if we need to. Trying to look. Sorry, I don't mean to make you guys seasick. Okay guys, so I figured out where the glitter is coming from, and I realized, you know what, it's going to be difficult to get back in there and put some more glue in. And I also, the edge of the container I'm using, I had to cut it down, so it's a little like, I don't know, it's not completely straight and uniform. So I'm going to take some of this cording here and wrap it around the snow globe, and I actually really like the way this looks. So I think this is a happy accident. Okay, so we're only going to do a little bit at a time to just make sure this is nice and controlled. And I'm just going to push it down, make sure it's seated really well up against the lid, and that should make sure there's a nice tight seal there to keep any glitter from coming out. And I just think the snow globe looks a lot better like that. Okay. come across the base as well. Oh, I really like that. Okay, I can tell you just outright, one thing I do not like is that the base is sitting on snow here, and you can clearly see a break in between like the ground and the base, which I don't know, I don't like it. So I'm gonna come back in with some white paint and we are going to fix that. And just make sure the lid is seated. Yeah, no more glitter coming out. Perfect. Can you guys see it? Love it. It's coming along. Okay. So let's take our glitter, or our white glue, and just make some snow here. Make it happen. We need it sitting on snow. I do not like it looking like it's just suspended in thin air. That's not very realistic. Much better. Much better. Okay, so I would say you'd never believe, but I'm sure you would. I got a bead of glue there, tried to pick it up, and I ripped the base. So, a couple options here. I went digging actually through my scrapbook ephemera, and would you believe, okay, this is why you have to go shopping in your own stuff, people. Look, I literally found Polar Express ephemera in with my scrapbooking stuff. Okay, so that's an option. I found this little embellishment that says believe. I think it's going to be perfect on the snow globe. The other option that I was going to do, I cut out a gold piece of paper and was just going to find some black letters or something that would show up on here and just write the words believe. But I really like this. And actually, I'm wondering, okay, so I think I'm actually going to use the gold and this. I really love the look. All right, so fired up the hot glue gun again. Okay. Oh, perfect. Do you guys see that? I love this. Oh my gosh. This might be one of my favorite covers, especially Christmas covers to date. Love, love, love. Okay. And we can add some final touches on the cover a little bit later if we want. I want to start sticking down this fabric that I have. We're going to use this to secure our spine. Did I not make this wide enough? Okay, I still have a little showing. If you remember, I was kind of freaking out originally because I realized that with this overhang, if I put the fabric all the way down, we'll be covering up the snowman. A couple of options. I think we're going to use, we'll put the fabric down to reinforce the spine, and then we are going to line it with, I don't know if this is thick enough, but we'll line it with something like this, and we will find a way to get rid of those edges of the chipboard that is still showing. So you can see it'll look something like this, and then we can put something up in the corner there. I'm not too worried about it. We'll figure something out. Okay. Make sure you just leave like a little bit of fabric at the top. It always looks better like if you fold it over, I think. Okay. I don't usually use my hot glue gun for this to secure the fabric. I usually just use my wet white glue, but since the hot glue gun is fired up, may as well, right? Let's put it down there. Okay. And if we use our ribbon, that should, or something, some lace, yeah, that should help hide that area. I think ideally I'd want it over a little bit more. Okay, that'll work. Okay. Now we want to, I'm gonna reload on some glue, and we want to incrementally lay this down. I like just doing little sections at a time because then I can make sure it's smooth and we're not dealing with a bunch of like wrinkles and creases underneath. Okay. Perfect. Try not to clump put down too big of clumps of glue or else you'll get bleed through. A little bit is okay, but the other thing I should mention about the spine is within the next couple of videos, I'm going to be working on creating the perfect tassel for this, and I'm going to show you some ways to create the perfect tassel for whatever kind of journal that you're working on. For this last little bit here, I usually actually apply it to the fabric, just because I know it's going to be covered up to the top, if that makes sense. Like if you apply it to the chipboard, you may not get full coverage. It may result in a little bleed through, but it's not enough to bother me, and I would rather not have my fabric like flaring up. And I also don't want to go too far over on the chipboard and have hot glue, or any kind of glue for that matter, seeping out the other side. Here I'm just adding a little bit more. Oops. It's okay if you have little bits that are sticking up a little bit, because again, we're going to come in with a ribbon and we'll secure each side of the spine. Okay, make sure your cover is dry before you flip it over. I think mine is. Okay, so before we cover with the rest of the fabric, before we reinforce the spine, this is when I like to secure down whatever I'm going to use to decorate the inside of my journal. I am not going to paint the inside. I just found two papers that I really liked, and I am going to put one on in each side. I thought the gold really fit well with the Polar Express theme, and we're definitely going to do a little bit more decorating inside the color. You just want to make sure, obviously, especially with an illustration like this, you want to make sure that you know which way is up. Double check that you are not upside down. Okay, you'll see like there's still a little bit showing on the edges here. That's okay. I'll figure out something to do with that. Maybe make a pocket or add some trim down below, something to cover that bottom part. Not a huge deal. But you see why I want to put these down before I flip around the fabric to reinforce the spine. You don't want to be trying to get that paper inside the fabric and get it even and whatnot after the fact. So This is not sticking very well. Maybe I didn't get it down fast enough. You'd think hot glue would be easier, but if you don't get it down right away, it's all over. Okay. I do have a little overhang. I think I'm gonna have to trim that. May as well just trim it now. Still not sticking. Why is really? It's hot glue, for God's sakes. How is this not sticking? How is that possible? Alright, we're riding the struggle bus here. So now it's supposed to be hard. I've got glue beads everywhere. My goodness. Okay. If we have to touch up the corners after it dries, that's fine. We'll do that. Get my glue beads off. My gosh. So I thought this was a really nice picture. This is just some illustrated stationery that I found at the thrift store, and it's of some kids like playing. I thought it was fitting with the theme of the Polar Express and just magic and stuff. Alright, I'm just gonna use regular glue for this. The hot glue is making life more difficult than it needs to be. I am going to keep my hot glue gun on though because I really want it for the fabric. We're going to finish the spine with it. Okay. Okay. Let's move this up. Okay, I realize that I have a little bit of space left at the bottom. That is okay. We can work with that. We're going to, it was actually my intention anyways to like create a pocket or do something really fun down here to decorate this. Let's get the air bubbles out. Okay. All right. Let's finish reinforcing our spine. Remember, we're going to do a little bit at a time. Make sure it's even. we may actually get this straight on despite the very poor technique I just used to like hot glue that. We'll see. We will see. Nobody hold their breath. That was criminal how I hot glued that fabric. Okay. Do. Oh my gosh. Not catastrophic. Okay. Okay, we can work with that. Trying to get my glitter down. Alright. Let's just trim some of that excess. Get off some of the glue beads. Okay, what do you guys think so far? I am loving this. Love, love, love. So, I think we're going to decorate the spine up a little bit more at some point. But I'm not sure what I want to do yet, and I know I want to create a tassel here. So I'm going to hold off for now. What I want to do is secure this blue ribbon down the journal. I think that gives it a really nice touch. It also hides some of the excess, the hangover tape we have. I think I'm gonna do it on the inside as well. Wasn't sure, but yeah, we'll do it on the inside. Just making sure the spine closes nicely. The book closes nicely, which it does. Okay. So, I want to come over and I want to cover some of the fabric Same on this side. Oh, let's trim our piece. Alright, same on this side. We're going to secure this blue ribbon down the bottom of our journal cover. I put more glue on there than I should have. Let's make sure our edges are even up top. Okay, I do like that. All right, now, this is going to cause us problems because this is obviously uneven up here. I'm going to cut a little bit off. Okay, that works. I'm trying to think if I should wrap. There's like this little empty space here. I think I'm going to start on the front cover and wrap it over. I think that would look better. Okay, same thing for the bottom. I'm going to wrap that around. Yeah. Alright, same thing, we're going to start here. Sorry about the lighting, guys. I think it's this gold seems to be affecting the camera lighting. I don't know. This looks really dark. It's mood lighting. Okay. Let's wrap it around. Oops. Alright. So the lines obviously are not perfect. They're not like straight on. But you know what? I think overall, I am thrilled with how this has come out, and I think especially with the tassel or something down here, it'll take attention away from seeing that this line isn't perfectly straight. Oh, I'm loving this. Wait till we get it all decorated inside, the inside cover, and get our signatures in. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. Look at these cute corners I found. They are going straight on this journal. Don't judge. I know this is not the right way to put them on. This is what I have sitting in front of me, and this is happening. Sorry. I also don't think I paid any more than like 99 cents for this, so it's okay. I really like these. I think it makes the journal look so much more polished. Okay, this is what I get for trying to put this on with a hole punch. I know. I know. Amazing, right? Okay, so here's where we're at. Okay, remember how I was kind of fretting over what to do with this, the hangover of this tape? No more. I know what we're going to do now. We are going to add some of these snowflakes. And I don't even think you will be able to see the tape sticking through anymore. And I think one more should do it. Perfect. Love it. I hadn't planned to put anything there, but now that it's there, I actually really like that. Ooh, very bedazzled. So I hope you enjoyed making this snow globe journal cover with me. Honestly, it turned out better than I even expected, and I'm thrilled with the way the actual snow globe itself came out. I think if anything, if I were to do anything different, I actually would have put more glitter. end sequins and stuff in it. Obviously, if you're using a smaller globe, you'll have to adjust. But overall, I'm really thrilled with everything. I can't wait to get working inside. In one of our upcoming videos, we will be creating the perfect signatures for this journal. And we will be working on a tassel for the journal. I will show you a couple different ways of doing that. So we have so much more to come. And of course, we'll be making some really cool Christmas embellishments. So I hope to see you next time, and thanks so much for joining in. If you enjoyed hanging out and crafting today, my videos come out Monday and Friday. Please like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much.